Close your eyes, Marvel fans. It's 2008. You're in a theater, heart racing as Tony Stark stumbles out of a cave, his chest glowing with a makeshift arc reactor. He's not just a man, he's a symbol of hope, of redemption, of everything we want to believe in. Fast forward to 2019, Avengers Endgame. The portals light up, and every hero we've laughed with, cried for, and cheered on storms into battle. You're sobbing, screaming, holding the hand of the stranger next to you because the MCU isn't just movies, it's family, it's home. But that home feels broken now. The stories we loved are fraying at the edges, the heroes we trusted feel like shadows. And then Kevin Feige, the man who gave us this universe, said one word that hit like a punch to the gut: reset. Not a reboot, not a fresh start, but a reset. A word that carries the weight of everything we've loved and everything we're about to lose. What does it mean? Why does it hurt so much? And where do we go from here? Grab your tissues because this is going to be a raw, heart-wrenching, and hopeful journey through the past, present, and future of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Let's dive into Kevin Feige's reset and what it means for the heroes who've carried us through our darkest days. Let's go back to the days when the MCU felt like magic. It started with Tony Stark, a broken man who built a suit in a cave to save his life and ended up saving ours. He wasn't perfect, but that's why we loved him. His sarcasm, his heart, his refusal to give up. Then came Steve Rogers, a kid from Brooklyn who'd rather die than let someone else take the fall. And Thor, a god who learned to care for mortals, proving even the mightiest can change. When they united in the Avengers, it was like lightning struck. The MCU became more than movies. It was a story we lived. Every film felt like a piece of a puzzle, building towards something epic. We watched Tony face his demons, Steve find his purpose, and Thor embrace his destiny. By Avengers Endgame, we weren't just fans, we were part of something bigger. I'll never forget that moment in Endgame. Tony, battered and bleeding, looking at his friends, his family, and saying, "I am Iron Man," one last time. I was a mess in that theater, tears soaking my shirt, because it wasn't just Tony's sacrifice, it was ours. We grew up with him. We laughed at his quips, cried at his pain, and believed in his redemption. That's what the MCU was, a mirror for our own hopes, fears, and dreams. Phase 4 was supposed to carry the torch. After Endgame broke our hearts and lifted our spirits, we were ready for new heroes, new stories, and there were glimmers of hope. Spider-Man: No Way Home wove a multiverse masterpiece, bringing back faces we thought we'd never see again. Shang-Chi gave us a hero who felt like he belonged in the MCU's golden age, but too many projects felt like strangers in the family we'd built. Eternals aimed high but left us cold, adrift in a story that didn't connect. Moon Knight was a brilliant spark, but it burned alone, untethered to the bigger picture. She-Hulk tried to make us laugh, but it left us divided. And then came Secret Invasion and the Marvels, stories that promised so much but faded like echoes. The MCU, once a tightly knit saga, felt like a puzzle with missing pieces. It hurt to watch. New fans didn't know where to start. 37 movies, countless shows, a sprawling multiverse. Even us, the diehards who memorized every Easter egg, started to feel lost. The box office told a brutal truth. Movies like Quantumania and the Marvels couldn't bring us back to theaters. It wasn't just about the stories, it was about trust. The MCU was our home, but it didn't feel like ours anymore. When Kevin Feige told Variety the MCU was getting a reset, not a reboot, it wasn't just a word, it was a lifeline. A reboot would erase everything, but a reset, it's a promise to honor the past while rebuilding the future. Let's unpack it. The reset starts with the timeline. The multiverse saga, sparked by Loki and its infinite realities, opened doors to wild possibilities. We saw it in What If, Deadpool and Wolverine, and the Fantastic Four, but the multiverse is a chaotic beast, and Feige knows it can't hold forever. Avengers, Doomsday and Avengers, Secret Wars are building toward a cosmic collision, inspired by the 2015 Secret Wars comic. In that story, the multiverse collapsed, and Doctor Doom reshaped reality into a fractured world. Heroes like Reed Richards fought to restore a single timeline, Earth 616, with just enough changes to feel new. That's where the MCU is headed. After Secret Wars in 2027, the multiverse will fade into the background, and we'll get a new prime timeline. One where the X-Men, Fantastic Four, and Avengers stand side by side on a single Earth. Imagine Wolverine snarling at Tony Stark, or Spider-Man swinging alongside Storm. The reset isn't about forgetting the past, it's about making every story matter again, weaving them into a tapestry that feels alive. But there's a catch. A reset means change, and change means loss. This is the part that hurts. The reset means saying goodbye to the heroes who defined us. Tony Stark, who taught us that even broken people can save the world. Steve Rogers, who showed us what it means to stand for something bigger than yourself. Their stories ended in Endgame, but their absence still aches. Marvel tried to pass their mantles, Sam Wilson as the new Captain America, Riri Williams as Ironheart, but the spark hasn't caught. The legacy feels heavy, not hopeful. So Marvel's making a choice that feels like a knife to the heart, recasting. A new Tony Stark, a new Steve Rogers, new faces stepping into shoes that feel impossible to fill. I don't know about you, but the thought of someone else saying, "I am Iron Man," makes my chest tight. I can still see Robert Downey Jr.'s face, his eyes full of fear and resolve as he snapped his fingers and saved the universe. I can still hear Chris Evans' voice steady and true as Steve said, "Avengers, assemble." Those moments weren't just scenes, they were pieces of our lives. The late-night marathons with friends, the arguments over who's the best Avenger, the tears we shed when Tony fell. The reset means letting go of that, and it feels like losing a piece of our souls. I'm not ready to say goodbye. I'll be in that theater for Avengers, Secret Wars, sobbing as the old era fades. Not just for Tony and Steve, but for us, the kids who grew up with them, the adults who found hope in their stories. The reset is a funeral for the MCU we knew, and it's going to hurt like hell. But even in grief, there's hope. The reset isn't the end, it's a rebirth. After Secret Wars, the MCU will streamline, making it easier for new fans to jump in without needing to watch 40 movies and a dozen shows. For us, the old guard, it's a chance to fall in love again. Picture a new Iron Man forging his armor in a world where mutants walk the streets. A new Captain America, shield raised, standing beside the X-Men against a reborn Ultron. The Fantastic Four, finally at the MCU's heart, facing Doctor Doom in a battle that shakes the heavens. And oh, the team-ups. Deadpool cracking jokes with Spider-Man, Wolverine throwing punches with the Hulk, the Avengers, X-Men, and Fantastic Four uniting against a threat bigger than Thanos. The reset lets Marvel tell stories that feel personal again, with stakes that hit us in the gut. No more scattered multiverse chaos, just heroes, villains, and a world we can believe in. Marvel's also learning from its mistakes. Big budgets, $200 to $250 million per film, haven't guaranteed success. Movies like Thunderbolts and Fantastic Four are showing that great writing and clear vision can outshine bloated price tags. With the reset, Marvel can focus on stories over spectacle, making every dollar count and every moment matter. And then there's Robert Downey Jr. as Doctor Doom, a stroke of genius that's both a nod to the past and a spark for the future. Secret Wars will be the catalyst, using nostalgia and heart to launch a new era. So what does the reset mean for us? It's a chance to grieve, to heal, and to dream again. The MCU we loved, the one that gave us Tony, Steve, and Thor, will always live in our hearts. But the reset is Marvel's promise to build something new, something worthy of that legacy. Get your tissues ready for Avengers, Secret Wars. Cry for the heroes we're losing, cheer for the ones we're gaining, and hold tight to the memories we've made, because they're ours forever. The reset isn't the end of the MCU's soul, it's a chance to rediscover it. Kevin Feige is betting on us, the fans, to believe in heroes again. And I think we will. What about you? Are you ready to let go and embrace the new MCU? What team-ups are you dying to see? Spider-Man and Deadpool? Wolverine and Iron Man? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Hit that like button if this hit you in the feels, and subscribe for more MCU deep dives.